The Suburban Home Party, where housewives can gather to discuss important issues of the day and sell plastic containers to hold food, whether they like it or not. You Will Come to My Home Party by Irma Bombeck. Read by Karl. One day, a typical suburban housewife was stirring a leftover in a small plastic bowl. As she pushed down the corner of the lid with her thumb, a whooshing sound came out, and her neighbor, who was having coffee, said, "Did you just belch?" "Of course not," she smiled. "I'm burping my suckerware." "Burping your suckerware?" "Right. I find when you force all the air out of your plastic bowl, your cantaloupe will keep for days in your fridge." This was the beginning of the great plastic rush. Within weeks, news had spread throughout the country and the city, and women were coming on buses, cars, and bicycles to witness this religious experience. They did not go home empty-handed. The home party was born, and there was no stopping its growth. This is how it worked. A housewife, motivated by the promise of a leftover tote bag, would invite 20 of her dearest friends to a party in her home. Once inside, a professional pitchman would guide the guests to a dining room table laden with wares, and then oil his way through the group with an order form and a ballpoint pen. No one was forced to go to a home party. You went out of pure fellowship, need, and unsolicited fear. Fear that when you were tapped to host a party, no one would show up if you didn't go to theirs. For an added incentive, you played games like Dessert Bingo to see how many words you could make out of the word leftover. The plastics were first to arrive on the suburban scene, but not for long. They were followed by the discovery of whatever cookware, Sarah covered thy neighbor jewelry, one size fits all sportswear, Bow Wow cosmetics, and many more. Probably the most boring party I ever attended was hosted by the whatever cookware company. The Burley brothers, two manufacturers representatives, came to our house early to cook the entire dinner in their pots that locked in flavor and held captive all the native juices. The natural juices were the only thing held captive. We sat around drinking celery cocktails. I turned to my husband and asked, "So, what do you want to do now?" "We could check the expiration dates on our driver's licenses." "I want to go home," I said stubbornly. "You are home," he said. "What time do these birds serve dinner? I don't smell anything cooking." "Of course you can't smell anything. The food's long in its own juices, which are locked in onto the flavor seal lids." Finally, one of the brothers announced, "Dinner is served." It was only the beginning of the pitch. The Burleys were everywhere. At her elbow was grinning, "Is that the most delicious roast you've ever put in your mouth? You have permission to talk with your mouth full." "How's it going over there, guys? Here, give me your fork. See how I can press against those Brussels sprouts and the juices continue to flow?" "Don't get up. What do you need?" "No salt, guy, please. Learn to eat, natural. The taste buds will adjust to it in time." "Do you detect just a hint of meat?" "Ah, you are discerning." "Eat the jackets," he commanded when asked to, scooping out his potatoes. "Look at this, folks. He's leaving all the nutrition on his plate." Following the dinner, we arranged our chairs in rows and watched a double feature: The Birth of Greece and An Enzyme Visits New York. One Thursday night, as I prepared to go to a home hair covering party, I got a call from Dolly Sullivan. "Guess what?" she said excitedly. "I'm giving a pint party. Can you come?" "What's a pint party?" I asked. "So you bring your sick plants to be healed and to buy new ones. It's really different," she said and hung up. I figured, why not? The pint party attracted a group of people I had never seen before. I'd been there only 5 minutes when someone wanted to go halvesies on a 100-pound bag of manure, and a perfect stranger showed me her aphids. "Girls, girls," said the plant rep. "Hate to break this up. We've got a lot of ground to cover this evening." No pun intended. First, I wanted to introduce you to my friends. Gathered around her little chairs were half dozen or so potted plants. She began to introduce them one by one. "This is Florence Floribunda, Polypothos, Ginny Geranium, Irene Iris, Dorothy Daffodil, and Phyllis Potbound. We'll talk more about her later. Then before we get to the sickies, I want each of you to answer roll call with your favorite insecticide." "Very good," she said when we'd all finished. Now, you often have an opportunity to find out how to deal with your sick plants. You bring them one at a time. We'll talk about them. The first was a woman who was near tears. What seems to be the problem? Asked the leader. They have icky boo boo on the leaves, she said. You're not being very scientific. In Latin, it's called primus, you mean? She smiled. Can you see the icky blosses? Its common name is dust. When a leaf is coated with 5 or 6 years of dust, it can't breathe, suffocates. What should I do? Asked the woman. Let's do something gutsy, she said. Let's wash it. The crowd cheered. Next up was a woman whose plant was in the final stages of deterioration. The leaves were ashen and crumpled limply to the floor. The leader studied it carefully. Do you talk to your plant? Give it encouragement? The will to live? The incentive to grow? I talked to it yesterday, she said, but I didn't talk very nice to it. I called it something. What'd you call it? Asked the plant lady. The owner whispered the word in her ear. She too turned ashen and crumbled limply to the floor. Towards the end of the evening, we were given the opportunity to buy fresh new plants to refurbish the ones in our homes. I chose a beautiful split-leaf philodendron with its shiny green leaves and a pot of mulch fluffed up at its peat like a pillow. That night, as I paced the floor with the plant on my shoulder, I patted gently and thought, "What the heck? Beats burping suckerware." The end.